for age gap relationships this year, with half of its users matching with a younger person in May alone. Well, similarly on TikTok, the hashtag dating younger men has had 560 million views.
Oh, wow. The actress Olivia Wilde is, shock, horror, 10 years older than Harry Styles, and their age gap relationship is said to have inspired Anne Hathaway's new movie, The Idea of You.
So is there a stigma attached to so-called cougars, or is that in decline? We're now joined by the dating blogger Gaynor Evans, who's been married to a younger man. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome. Good morning.
Have you experienced any sort of stigma for the age of your other half?
Yes, I mean, I did at the time, because when I actually got married, which was quite a while ago, it was a really new thing, and he was 10 years my junior, and everyone said, oh, you've got a toy boy, and it was real, but yeah, it won't last. But 20 years it lasted. So, and when we broke up, it had absolutely nothing to do with the age gap. So I can, say that it doesn't necessarily have to be a fleeting relationship.
Isn't it the idea? I mean, I know some people sort of frown on it, but the idea of having a toy boy, that's quite empowering, isn't it?
It's very empowering, and I think since my divorce, I've dated men with a much bigger age gap than the 10 years. Oh, yes, absolutely. And that was because the pool of people available to me was really mainly in the younger age group. The older man, or the man in my own age group, who, if the sort I would like perhaps that was desirable fit, sort of George Clooney, that type of thing, they wouldn't be looking at me.
Right.
They'd be looking at someone 30 years their junior, 25 years their junior.
And that's not frowned on in the same way?
Of course not. So where do older women like me go for then? We're sort of left with what there is left available, which just seem to be younger men. So I thought, well, I'm not looking for a serious relationship, I'll just enjoy it. And it was very empowering, you're quite right.
How much in that time frame then, 20 years in a relationship, and you've come out and you're dating again,
yes.
How much of attitudes changed in that time?
Not enough in my opinion, but it's getting more acceptable. But the fact that I'm still here talking about it means we're not yet in the normal range of it. It's not saying, well, I prefer like older men. Still seems to be okay.
But what's the motivation though? Because I mean, this could be totally wrong. But a lot of when you have a younger woman with an older man, sometimes you say, well, sugar daddy.
Yes.
Now that may or may not be the case. Is there a motivation, a similar sort of stereotype, if you like, for the younger man and the older woman?
I think there probably is, and it's certainly not that in my case. I'm certainly no one's sugar mummy. I hate that term, actually. Being a mother, it's just, I find it quite offensive personally. It's probably more that the age gap sets a certain frisson between the two, and obviously a lot of it is, I'm not going to lie about it, a lot of it is sexually driven. I think the attraction that we bring is sort of experience, confidence. We're not looking for any boxes to be ticked. We don't need to be going away for long weekends, meeting the parents. We don't need a ring on our finger. We're just enjoying the moment with these younger men. And I think because of that, we are very appealing, because we're fun, we're in the moment, we're not looking forward. And obviously a lot of the girls, quite rightly, they want to move forward in the relationships, and the guys find this a little bit intimidating. So we sort of offer a slightly more relaxed sort of feel to things.
But what if you were looking for a much longer, stable commitment?
Well, I wouldn't advise anyone in an older relationship, as an older woman, to look for necessarily that with a very much younger man. You've really got to be lucky to find a very much younger man that would settle. I mean, it depends whether he wants children, that type of thing. Obviously, in my case, 10 years wasn't massive, and we did have a child together, so that was still possible. But I usually say, it doesn't mean you don't get involved, and I have got involved, and they've got involved with me, and it has been difficult, because if once you get your feelings, it goes over a long period of time. You do get emotionally attached, and then you're left with, now what do you do? So
having those things in common, isn't it? Which I guess is why a lot of people are with people of a similar age. Is sort of similar life experiences and things?
No, rather boring, really, similar life experiences. I'd much rather have somebody that's looking forward, that's living now, that's out enjoying themselves, that can talk about life today, you know, is up to date with everything that's going on. And I think we can make lots of, I mean, the conversations I've had, intelligent, world, you know, talking about world politics, whereas the older man,
I might be listening as an older man thinking, I'm intelligent, I can give you a nice dinner and an
but
intelligent chat.
I find they need more looking after and more nurturing than the younger man does. The younger man tends to breeze in and breeze out a bit, which, to be honest, with a busy lifestyle like I've got, you know, with all my other heads that I have to wear, I think it's probably that very fact that, you know, they are like that. An older man would have an expectation, and maybe that's just because I'm not ready to give that expectation, not willing to give up the freedom and the fun that I'm having.